I have to remind myself to not stress, just kind of go like, whatever happens, happens. And I forget that a lot of times, and I get worked up, and it's hard to let go of that sometimes. And so one of the things I wrote down was don't over stress with whatever it is. It's like, I mean, again, going back to teaching, right? I've been thinking a lot about like the idea of what would cause me to lose my job in a sense, especially with what's happening in society and how much I'm allowed to talk about politics or not. Things like that, especially, I mean, right now, it's like, what would I say or do if I wanted to put a sign on my door, agree, like stating something kind of in a political way or whatever, or what would I say? What could get me fired for my viewpoint, right? Or something. So I'm kind of trying to let go of these concepts. But when you think about it, from my point of view, school, because of how it worked, like it would be like, you would have to do something just insanely egregious to get fired. Like during the semester, like you would have to be something, something inappropriate or something crazy, something bad. And even that isn't always the case. There are times, depending on who you are, privilege of different kinds, that you can be whatever and not get fired. But because from my perspective, it's a massive burden to replace you, especially mid class, and deal with that. And what are they going to give the student? What are they? So this idea of stressing out about something is not as potentially stressful as you may perceive it to be, because it's like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do if you're not perfect? I mean, you have to go through your evaluations or whatever. They may call you in and say, we want to review your classes, or I don't know. They may do something that's potentially anxiety inducing, but that's a long way off from just getting like fired or something. So the amount of stress that you might hold on to is probably lower than it needs to be. It's like you could probably go like, oh, whatever. And I need to do that sometimes. I need to actually tell myself like, well, whatever. I'm very like bipolar in a sense when it comes to those ideas. Like I have a hard time with the gray. I have a hard time with the middle. And so I get very extreme. My thought processes, and that's kind of, they get very extreme. They get very worst case scenario and things. So in order for me to get out of that worst case scenario, I got to go the complete opposite a lot of times and just be like, whatever. Just kind of just like, if you don't like it, tough, if you don't like it, tough. But, so that's something I've been thinking about this week in my practice as a professional, educator. Just try not to stress, try not to let it stress you out. But of course, it's that balance. It's like, it's very much the same as what students need to achieve when it comes to their work. Their work's not going to be the best they've ever done. It's just not. So you got to find that balance of putting as much effort as you can into it, when at the same time you realize it's not going to be the best thing you've ever done. So sometimes if it's not going to be great, you stop putting effort into it. And so you just got to, So it's the same way with teaching and stuff. It's like put 100% into it, but don't get attached to it. I mean, the analogies and I mean, it's the same as art, just in general. As the best artists don't be attached to your artwork. Just like you should be willing to like make the best thing you've ever made and burn it, after you're done, because it's like, I'll just do it again or whatever. I'll just do more.